All right, for question number 7, let's read the directions. Write 2 different cubic functions. How many, class? 2. So you should have 2 answers. You can call A and then B. 2 answers, so let the product, remember product means what math operation? Multiplying of the functions with the given characteristics. So, how do you make x equals negative 3 set equal to 0? Well, you're going to have to add 3. If I add 3 to both sides, I get x plus 3 equals 0. Now, this becomes my binomial. You can just put parentheses around it, and let's see if we can spot that in their answers. Do you see that? There's their x plus 3. Now, over here, you'll notice that this one says 2x plus 6. But if you factor out a 2, there's my x plus 3. So everyone say double. You can just double the answer of x plus 3. Or if you put a 2 in front of it and then distribute, that's how you get 2x plus 6. And that's perfectly okay. Let's look at this one. X equals 0. Well, you could write something like this. X minus 0 equals 0. Or essentially, you can just have an x in there. So let's highlight that. So x equals 0. You don't necessarily need to put into these parentheses, but let's identify where theirs is. Here's their x. Okay, pay attention here. Look at this one. They didn't double this one, they did what? They tripled it. They just multiplied by 3. And the reason why this works, if you work backwards, you'll have x equals 0. And then this one you have 3x equals 0. So if you divide by 3 and solve, you still get x equals 0. That's the big idea. Do you see that? So here are our answers, A and B. So we did the yellow, we did the pink. Let's do the last one, x equals 1. Class, how do I set that equal to 0? It doesn't say 0, so how do I get a 0 here, class? Minus 1. So I'm going to get x minus 1 equals 0. Well, I see the x minus 1 here. Look what they did to this one. What did they do to the x minus 1? They just multiplied by 4. Do you see that? 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So essentially what you do is just take your first set of answers and you can just multiply it by 2, 3, or 4. And that gives you a different looking function, but they're exactly the same. So you'll basically get 2 different cubic functions that their product, meaning if you multiply them, you'll get a cubic function. So the big idea there is, how do you do that practically? Just set it equal to 0. How do you get set equal to 0? You're going to have to move that over to the left side.